84 degrees and humid here in Tampa as we get set for the Buccaneers and the Packers. Buccaneers playing with heavy hearts today, Darryl, following the passing earlier this week of Bryson Bryant, the 3-month-old son of Buccaneers kicker Matt and Melissa. And Matt is here today in uniform and will kick off.
Yeah, I just can't even imagine being in the position that he is in right now. And our thoughts and prayers are with the Bryant family, and just be thinking about him all afternoon.
Bryant gets things started. The opening kickoff taken at the 6 by Will Blackman. Blackman across the 30, the 35, stays in bounds and finally steps out, forced out by Bryant at the 42. So a 36-yard return by Blackman as Aaron Rodgers leads the Packers offense out. Rodgers making his 4th NFL start.
You know, and the funny thing is how he's performing this year really kind of goes back to last season. And when everything happened with the Green Bay Packers organization this offseason and Aaron Rodgers was going to be the guy coming into this season, I went right back to the Dallas game of last year, and he comes off the bench in a situation as a backup quarterback, and I thought he played outstanding down in Texas Stadium.
First and 10 from the 42-yard line. This is Ryan Grant. Grant knocked out of bounds at the 48 after gaining 6.
They'll be going up against this Tampa Bay defense, and you know, the misnomer out there about Tampa too. Everybody that watches this group, you get a lot different look. Barrett Ruud will control the communication from the sideline, but in the dynamics of this team, their offense has to carry their load. They have to get out in front and allow this defense to play that quote-unquote Tampa 2 defense that everybody talks about late in the game with a lead. On
2nd and 4, Grant into Buccaneers territory. Brought down by Gaines Adams. Pickup of 3, setting up 3rd down and 1. Aaron Rodgers, first-round draft pick back in 05. Sat behind Brett Favre for 3 seasons. Has not thrown a pick. 99 pass attempts this season, no interceptions. Third down and 1. Grant.
They didn't give him a very good spot. I thought Ryan Grant took on a tackler in the hole and actually pushed that pile enough to get the first down. We'll see where this spot comes in. I thought it was a little short.
Then he has a second effort too. After he looks like he goes down and he spins out. I thought he got it on that particular time too, Moose.
Watch right in the hole, Tony. As he comes in, it's filled right there. And he just takes on Cato June in the hole, knocks him back and works forward. I thought he got a little bit closer to the line for the first down.
I'll tell you what, Aaron Rodgers is a downhill hard runner, man. Wow. I didn't think he was that short.
No, I did not either. Look at Mike McCarthy getting aggressive right now, right here.
Packers will go for it on 4th and inches.
I always love these calls, Moose. It's the coach got a lot of confidence in your offensive line. And defensively, man, you're there to stop them, man. You got to go and get your adrenaline up, stay low, because you know they're coming right over the middle.
Kuhn, the fullback, lined up in front of Grant. Rodgers on the keeper. It will depend on the spot.
You know, Tony, the other thing, not so much the confidence in the offensive line, but also the confidence in his defense that, hey, if we get stopped, I'm fine with you guys getting out there in kind of a sudden change environment and holding this team to at least the field goal with good field position.
Here come the chains once again.
That sets the tempo right now. Mike McCarthy just set a tone for this game. With that opening drive right around midfield, you're going to go for it. That shows he has a lot of confidence in his offensive line, like Tony pointed out, but also I think he feels very good about the matchup with his defense. Look at that roll up. You can tell how fortunate they were. Look at that big mound of dirt that just pulled back. So not a whole lot of traction in there for the big guys up front, and Aaron Rodgers trying to get in their hip pocket.
Looks a little bit like my lawn back home with the grub worms there, Moose. Wow, that thing tore up good. Looks like they're bringing the grounds crew out there right now to try and replace that divot. Some of the guys were complaining about the footing. See them right there trying to replace it. You know, they did have a little bit of rain here early in the, before kickoff, but I don't think it got that wet for that to rip up like that. But they do paint that area. You can see the logo of Tampa Bay right there. They might have replaced that. We'll find out more for you.
How would that affect you, Goose, as a defensive player?
Well, when you got to dig in, Kenny, you got to get your spikes in there, especially on them short yardage plays like we saw right there. You're expecting, a guy to come over the middle, or you're going to get that little bit of a, quarterback sneak that we just saw. But you need to dig in, stay low, and if you can't get footing, man, and them two offensive linemen are pushing you, what happens right there is exactly what's going to happen. They're going to get the first down.
The University of South Florida plays here as well, so that logo is repainted frequently throughout the fall. 1st and 10 from the Bucs 48. Off the play fake, Rodgers looking to throw for the first time. Can't find anyone downfield. Forced out of bounds. Back at the 49-yard line by Kevin Carter.
Well, one of the areas of improvement that I'd like to see Aaron Rodgers kind of take that next step is that situation right there. Obviously, you saw he hasn't thrown an interception yet this season, so he's making good decisions with the football. But you get out on the perimeter, throw the ball away. Let's go to 2nd and 10. Don't run out of bounds and give yourself 2nd and 12. It may not seem like a big deal, but we just saw in that opening series how tough it is to get 10 yards. Just imagine if you add 2 to that.
Kevin Carter didn't mind. He got a free sack out of that one.
His 2nd of the season. Empty backfield, and Rodgers' pass could not be handled by the tight end, Donald Lee.
Wonder if that one got on Donald Lee awful quick, because it looks like it got all the way in through the face mask. I've had a couple of these in my career, Goose. Those hands are just a little slow getting up, and kabam, right off the face.
You didn't hear them footsteps coming, did you, Moose?
Now remember what Donald Driver told us. It doesn't matter if you're 40 yards downfield or 4 yards downfield. Aaron Rodgers is going to put a little bit of something on that ball.
That juice is coming, man. That ball's coming at you 100 miles an hour.
Packers empty the backfield again. 3rd down and 11.
Offside, defense, number 90, unabated to the quarterback, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Gaines Adams a bit over anxious.
That's a good play by the Green Bay Packers. I mean, 3rd and 11 as opposed to 3rd and 6. 3rd and 12, 3rd and 7. It's a big change in the mentality. It opens up that playbook a little bit more for Mike McCarthy.
I'll tell you what, Scott Wells, the center for the Green Bay Packers, does a great job of snapping the ball once he realizes one of the defensive linemen has crossed the line of scrimmage. That's a heads-up play by him.
Wells returning, did not play the first 3 weeks due to a back injury. Brandon Jackson in the backfield. Rodgers fires. It's caught for a first down by the rookie out of Kansas State, Jordy Nelson. His 6th reception of the season. He gains 12 yards as the Packers move the chains. But
the ability to protect Aaron Rodgers in a situation where you're bringing pressure allows that route to develop. That's not a quick developing play. Jordy Nelson is going outside, letting everybody clear that lane out, and then he comes back into the center of the field.
Packers won the toss, went for it on 4th and 1. Have continued to march downfield. 1st and 10 from the 33. This is Grant. And Grant able to fight his way down to the 25-yard line. A gain of 8, setting up 2nd down and 2.
I think they're trying to get Ryan Grant into a rhythm. And as a guy who was kind of holding out with a contract dispute in the offseason, you're not allowed to come to the OTAs. I mean, you can go in and work in the playbook and everything, but you can't go on the field with your team. He hasn't developed that rhythm. He got a little bit of a nick in training camp and missed out on some reps. So Mike McCarthy feels that he's not where he needs to be right now, just from a rhythm factor running behind that offensive line.
From the 25, it's number 25, Grant, and this time he is forced back. No gain on the play. Grant's 5th carry. Packers now facing 3rd down and 2.
And we get a chance to watch the regular season here. And the one thing about training camp is it's come so far, Goose. You get these official training activities in the offseason, the OTAs that everybody talks about. They're so much farther ahead than we were when they walk into training camp that first day.
The tough thing is they don't get no rest. You know, the commissioner talked about it. These guys need a rest. They got them big bodies, you know, in collisions constantly. They need a little bit of downtime, and they're not getting that right now with all the OTAs they got.
Two tight ends, Rodgers from the shotgun. 3rd down and 2. Rodgers complete. Walking it in for the touchdown, Greg Jennings.
Well, Ronde Barber had a tough second half last week against Chicago, and they got him again here on the opening drive today. He's an aggressive player on the perimeter. There's Greg Jennings against Ronde Barber. He slips right away. That's a tough way to start. You wonder, we saw that field roll up at midfield. You wonder if it's kind of chewed up everywhere.
So Greg Jennings, who leads the NFL in receiving yards over the first 3 weeks, scores his first touchdown of the season. Mason Crosby adds the extra point. Packers march 58 yards, but the key play, the key call by Mike McCarthy, they went for it on 4th and 1. Ronde Barber concerned about his left knee. He slipped right at the beginning of the last play, the Jennings touchdown.
Yeah, he had actually a slip with both feet. His right foot slipped first, and then as he pivoted, you see his left foot slip out too. And I think, you know, right there, that's the one you could see that knee kind of bend a little bit funny on the left leg as he went down.
Crosby kicks off for the rookie out of Appalachian State, Dexter Jackson. Jackson across the 25 to the 32. Setting up good field position for the Bucs. Packers score on their opening drive and lead the Bucs 7-0. Greg Jennings with the early touchdown reception. Packers score on their opening drive, lead 7-0. Now it's the Bucs. 1st and 10 from their own 32. Ernest Graham in the backfield, along with fullback Byron Storer. Greasy hands it off to Graham. Over the top of the pile out to the 35. Gain of 3.
Well, there's a good start, in my opinion. Let's get back and get this running game going. This offensive line is starting to assert itself. You know, a little bit feisty last week in Chicago, but they didn't back down from anybody. So, and I'd lean on Ernest Graham. Let's pound at this Packer defense. You're not going to get the type of looks you got last week against Chicago that forced you to throw the ball 67 times.
5th most pass attempts in NFL history. Again, it's Graham. Graham. Then initially by Johnny Jolly. Good second effort, able to gain 2, setting up a 3rd down and 5.
This Packer defense last week, very uncharacteristic, gave up some big plays to the Dallas Cowboys. Nick Barnett handles the communication out there on the field, and he's going to have to communicate with these guys. They had 3 plays over 50 yards against the Cowboys, and that's not going to win many football games for you.
2 starters in the secondary out, as Darryl mentioned during our open. Atari Bigby and Al Harris due to injury. Greasy backpedaling over the top, and Tramon Williams with good coverage. He's starting for Al Harris. Williams not allowing Antonio Bryant to make the catch.
They will challenge every throw that you make. Tramon Williams on the outside. There's a little physical play on the outside. Yeah, it's tight. There's hand jockey. There's everything going on. This crowd's booing a little bit. But that's the way the Green Bay Packers play pass defense. They challenge every throw you make.
Former Packer Josh Bidwell punting from his own 25-yard line. Good kick, but a little too much on it. Bounces through the end zone. So the Packers will start from their own 20, 64-yard punt, 44 yards net. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Bryant family, Matt and Melissa, following their loss earlier this week. Back in Tampa, the site of Super Bowl 43. Packers with a 7-0 lead as they drove 10 plays, 53 yards on their opening drive. Then the Bucs go 3 and out.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on this defense right now to get off the field. The offense didn't do their job, came out with a 3 and out. Tampa Bay last week was able to come back from that 10-point deficit, but that's not the dynamic of this team. They need to be playing from the front.
From the 20, the quick slant is caught by Donald Driver. And Driver gains 8 yards out to the 28 before he was brought down by Phillip Buchanan.
You mentioned it on that opening drive, Goose. Aaron Rodgers just looks really comfortable right there. They brought some pressure, no big deal. I know where my guy has to be.
Especially on that rollout, Moose. He just goes out there very confident, relaxed, not panicking. He's getting chased. I mean, he's got a great disposition in that pocket right now.
2nd and 2, Ryan Grant. Stopped a yard shy. So the Packers, who went for it on 4th and 1 on their opening drive, now looking at a 3rd down and 1 as they shuffle personnel, sending in Jordy Nelson and Torrey Humphrey.
Here come the big boys, Moose. 2 big tight ends, put them on the line of scrimmage. Everybody's thinking run in this situation. Could be a good situation to go downfield with a pass.
Nelson split to the left. 2 tight ends, Lee and Humphrey. 3rd and 1, they keep it on the ground with Grant. And Grant able to sneak across the 30 to the 31 for a Packers first down.
Just grinding it. You know, they're not afraid to get in there and mix it up. You know, this offensive line is starting to come together too. They've got Scott Wells back in the starting lineup for the first time this season. Got nicked up in training camp, and Mike McCarthy, you know, erring on the side of caution. Maybe could have played, probably could have played last week against Dallas, but he held them out. They've got everybody out there now.
So Wells starting at center. Jason Spitz, who started the first 3 games in the middle, moves over to right guard today. 1st and 10 from the 31. Rodgers can't find anyone, dumps it off, and it's nearly intercepted by Derek Brooks. Pass intended for Ryan Grant.
Well, Ryan Grant and Aaron Rodgers have a little bit of a discussion as they're coming back. The ball wants to go downfield, but there's nothing there. And again, we've talked about Aaron's decision-making. Ryan Grant a little bit late getting out. Aaron expected him to go back into the middle of the field, and Ryan Grant continued to drift outside. And almost a gift right there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
3 wide receivers on 2nd and 10. Ryan Grant. Grant finds a hole. Gains 5 out to the 36-yard line as we check in for the first time today with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt.
All right, guys, Jags and Texans. Yes, that's the single wing that Miami ran so effectively last week. Jacksonville using it to their advantage. Montel Owens, his first NFL carry, 41 yards for the score, and the Jags have a lead of 7-0. Right down the road from Jacksonville and Tampa. Back to you guys.
Jaguars looking for their 2nd win. Texans their 1st. 3rd down and 5. Rodgers, pump fake, rolls right. Could not find anyone downfield and throws it away.
Well, that shows you the competitiveness of Aaron Rodgers, because he knows he's going to get hit on that one. He's broken out to the right side. He sees everybody coming at him, but he knows he's got to make this throw. Watch at the end of it, a little bit of athleticism to get out of the pocket, get out on the edge to throw the ball. But right now, he's got guys coming at him. He knows he's going to take that shot right there.
First punt today for Derek Frost, the former Redskin who struggled last Sunday against Dallas. Angled towards the sideline. Out of bounds. 41-yard punt. And the Bucs will start from their own 23 when we come back. Mark Tauscher taking advantage of the spot coolers that trainer Pepper Burris brought here to Tampa. Goose, those are actual swimming pool hoses.
That's tremendous. I wish I had them when we were playing. It looks like these guys are like robots.
Doc
they're actually plugged in.
Goose, you talked about the humidity down on the field. 1st and 10 Bucs from their own 23.
Good play by the umpire.
Heads up. That was very heads up right there.
Bruce Stritsky getting in the way of that pass by Greasy.
Can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up, right, Goose?
Got to get your hands
up.
up.
I'm back too far. I got a late start. Get your hands up. There you go. Knock that thing down.
He's played alligator arms on that one.
Oh, man, he almost caught one right in the cranium.
Bruce, in his third season as an umpire, Bruce, he's an airline pilot when he is not wearing stripes. 2nd and 10. Dunn looked back, bounces to the outside, cuts back inside, and gains 4.
That's the umpire that just got hit. These are actually new microphones on his hat there. That's not the Musketeer hat or anything like that. These are microphones right there we're looking at. Get a little bit inside there and hear what those guys sound like in there.
Bruce will try and stay out of the way next time. 3rd down and 6. Greasy steps up. He fires. There's a penalty marker. Now 2 flags. Pass intended for Ike Hilliard.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, defense, number 21. 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
That's on the left corner, the veteran Charles Woodson.
Well, that opening drive, we talked about Green Bay contesting every throw, and this is one of the risks that you run, is every once in a while, you're going to get called on some PI, some illegal contacts, and again, we've got a defensive player get kind of caught up in the turf. He was sitting on something. Ike Hilliard broke it to the inside. I think Charles Woodson thought he was just going to hook it up.
1st and 10 from the 32 following the penalty. Catch is made by Antonio Bryant, who caught a career-high 10 balls in Chicago last week. And Bryant able to gain 6 yards.
Brian Greasy had to rest during the course of the week after throwing 67 passes, but Antonio Bryant, he was a little worn out during the week, too.
They had Greasy on a pitch count in practice on Wednesday. Second down and 4. Greasy's pass is caught, but Brady Papinga was right there. Takes down Ernest Graham, a yard shy of the marker.
One of the things that this Green Bay defense will do to you, because their players are interchangeable, whether it's free safety and strong safety, the weak side linebacker and the strong side linebacker. They know the roles. They can do both. When Tampa Bay challenges them with motion and shiftings and flipping formations, you're not going to see a whole lot of movement out of that Packer defense.
4th down and 1, Graham. Looks like Graham was stopped short.
I don't know if they got it or not, but that's a heads-up play by the Buccaneers coming out, going on quick count. As soon as the quarterback gets up under center, boom, the ball is snapped. It's tough to get a read as a linebacker, as a defensive lineman on what's actually happening. Really heads up.
By the nose of the football, Graham did pick up the 1st down.
He doesn't look happy, but he should be on that.
Does he ever?
No.
Wasn't happy, Goose, when you were sitting on top of Rich Gannon back in the AFC Championship game. Greasy going deep. Looking for Antonio Bryant. No flags.
No, and there shouldn't have been. Good coverage by both defenders. You run a little bootleg, you're trying to sneak somebody across the field on the home run throw, and the Green Bay Packers were not fooled. Antonio Bryant on the outside. He goes up the field. Now there's the break right there. Nick Collins turns around. Tramon Williams is there to help out. He had a step on Nick Collins. Tramon Williams does a good job getting back deep to take away that throw.
Brian Greasy does a great job of putting that ball where only the receiver could have gotten it.
2nd and 10, 3 wide receivers. Inside handoff to Warrick Dunn. And Dunn spins out to the 49-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. Warrick Dunn returning to Tampa after spending his last 6 seasons in Atlanta. 3-time Pro Bowler. We talked to Packers linebacker A.J. Hawk last night. He said I was a huge Warrick Dunn fan back in his days at Florida State. Third down and 4. Greasy out of the shotgun. Stands in the pocket. And the pass intended for Maurice Stovall. But it's broken up by Greasy's teammate at the University of Michigan. They won a national championship together back in '97, Charles Woodson.
They'll put a lot of pressure on Brian Greasy this afternoon to be very, very accurate with his ball placement to the wide receivers. You can see on all these throws, I mean, they are right there. There's hands coming in. I mean, the Green Bay Packers very aggressive in how they play coverage. Even with Al Harris out, that does not change their philosophy. Tramon Williams has got to step up and play their style of defense.
And Brian Greasy has to get a ball out fast. I'll tell you what, the Green Bay Packers, with only their front four rushing, not a blitz from the linebacker or anything coming, they're putting a lot of pressure on him to get that ball out.
Good special teams coverage by the Bucs. Will Blackman down at the 23 following the 33-yard punt. 7-0 Packers. 51st all-time meeting between these former division rivals, and the key play so far today, Darryl, the fourth play from scrimmage, Mike McCarthy going for it on 4th and 1.
Kind of set the tempo early for this Green Bay Packer offense to get out to that quick start, score a touchdown. And one of the things that Tampa Bay has to be able to do, they've got to counter that. They don't want to fall behind late in this game, because I still don't think that this team is set up for that dynamic. Very fortunate to come out of Chicago with that win last week. I know they came back from 10 late in the game, but that's one of those games that you just consider yourself fortunate to have won. That's not how this team is built. They're not built to come back on a regular basis.
Rondé Barber wrapped up Greg Jennings after the 6-yard pickup. Jennings beat Barber, who slipped for the game's only touchdown so far. Second down and 4. Rodgers over the top. And it's a first down for Donald Lee. Well, Rodgers spent 3 years watching Brett Favre work his magic, and he's doing it again today at the Meadowlands, Kurt.
Well, you said it. Rodgers and company have seen this display of arm strength from Favre before. Now in a Jets uniform against Arizona. Zips this one in. Hey, Lavernius Coles has to keep it from going through his chest. 12-yard score. And by the way, that was set up by a pass to Bubba Frank. So former Packers making noise for the Jets.
Consecutive start number 279 for Brett Favre this afternoon. Ryan Grant, a couple of flags.
Holding, offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's the left tackle, Chad Clifton. Over the first 3 weeks, he leads the NFL in holding penalties. That is his 4th.
Well, going against Gaines Adams today, he's going to be an undersized guy, a little bit quicker. Gets inside him right there. You can see that right arm come up, kind of get around the shoulder area of Gaines Adams. But what Green Bay has done on a couple of their opening drives is get off to a good start with productive plays on first down. And the last 2 series, they have not been able to match that.
First down and 20 following the holding penalty on Clifton. Packers shifting. Just get the snap away. And Rodgers' pass is low, intended for Greg Jennings.
Don't know why he hurried that one. He didn't have any pressure. The guys up front did a good job. They showed a little bit of pressure by the Buccaneer defense, but they backed off.
Second and 20, half minute to go, first quarter here in Tampa. 3 wide receivers set for the Packers. Grant. Grant getting just 2 out to the 27 and some extracurricular activity.
And defensive backs want to get involved in there. When you have them big offensive linemen, you pretty much want to stay out of there if you're a DB. I mean, you can do a lot of yelling, but you don't want to get within his grasp, or what you see right there is going to happen.
That's the deep end of the swimming pool, right, Tony?
Yeah, that's going backwards. You don't want to.
Those guys on the outside, they're not allowed in the deep end. They got to stay out on the outside where it's shallow.
Well, the Packers and Bucs will now head to the other end of the field here at Raymond James Stadium. Packers with a 7-0 lead. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages from your local station. Packers lead the Buccaneers 7-0. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa as we begin the second quarter. Third down and 18 for Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Packers need to get to the 45-yard line. Pass deflected out of the arms of Jackson, picked off into the lateral to Cato June. First turnover of the game, first interception thrown by Aaron Rodgers this season.
That's not Aaron Rodgers' fault, though. This is on Brandon Jackson. Gets to the outside. He's turning to run, takes his eyes off the ball, ricochets. Look at the heads-up play. Was it Derek Brooks? Laterals it to Cato June.
25th career pick for Brooks. And then June gains a couple of extra yards. From the Packers 32, Ernest Graham. No gain on the play. Johnny Jolly, first Packer in on the tackle.
Tough sledding for this Tampa Bay offense up front. And, you know, the talk last week, you know, these guys are a little nasty. You know, the NFL supposedly reprimanded them the way they played against Chicago. That game was pretty feisty, you know, from the start of it. And they haven't been able to carry it over yet this week. This Green Bay front really doing a nice job shutting down the run.
Dating back to last season, first interception thrown by Rodgers in 158 pass attempts. Second and 10. Greasy, pump fake. Now he throws. Looking for John Gilmore, the tight end.
Moose, you talked about, you know, defending the run with this Green Bay front four, but the pressure they're putting on with just four guys coming, they're doing a great job of going and penetrating. These guys right here, look how they get upfield. They're all throwing a rip. Boom. I mean, Greasy does not have a lot of time to even get his feet set before he has the pressure on him.
Third down and 10 for the Bucs when we come back. Back in Tampa, the left guard Aaron Sears injured on the last play, replaced by Sean Mahan. Third down and 10. Four receivers, everybody out. Greasy that time was looking for Michael Clayton.
Late. From the other side. This will be interesting to see. Michael Clayton came up.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, defense, number 21. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
I don't know about this one. I want to see this replay because I think Charles Woodson beat Michael Clayton to the spot. He's going to be in the slot. Look at number 21. Well, they're going to be calling it close. Okay, so I guarantee you that John Gruden went to the officials before this game and said, hey, I want you guys to keep an eye on this secondary. They play tight. There's illegal contact. He's going to make them aware of that. We've already had 2 on Charles Woodson.
And now the end around to Clayton. Bucs looking to get something going. They've averaged under 2 yards on first down today.
Well, they're putting themselves in a hole on second down. And you're kind of forcing yourself into whether you want to throw the ball, run a little screen out the backside, but tough to be running in second and long on a consistent basis all afternoon. Green Bay got off to a really nice start at the beginning of this game with that opening drive, then into their second drive. But since that time, they've been struggling a little bit on first down, brought their very, very good average down a little.
Mark done on second and 7. Met initially by Brady Popenga.
Popenga does a nice job of recognizing and coming through an open space and making a nice hit in the backfield. He's got a great nose for the ball on running past that guy.
Popenga in his 4th season out of BYU. Third down and 7. Bucs trying to capitalize on the Green Bay turnover. The interception by Derek Brooks. Bucs empty the backfield. Ernest Graham in the slot. Third and 7. Greasy complete. First down, Antonio Bryant. Bryant takes it inside the 10. 13-yard pickup. First and goal from the 9. Coming up for Tampa Bay.
We focus on the replacement of Tramon Williams in for Al Harris, but that knocks everything down the pecking order. Whether you talk about your nickel and your dime defense, everybody's got to step up. You've got guys on the field for more snaps. Will Blackman really made his mark on special teams for the Green Bay Packers. Going to play a little bit more in that secondary, going up against Antonio Bryant, who had a big game last week.
Tracy to Alex Smith, touchdown. First touchdown of the season for the tight end out of Stanford, Alex Smith. Matt Bryant adds the extra point. So the Buccaneers capitalize on the first interception thrown by Aaron Rodgers this season. Bucs and Packers tied at 7. Short field for the Buccaneers following the interception, and Smith ties the game.
Well, Tampa Bay caught them in an interesting situation here. Here's your two tight ends on the wing, and they're gonna force Michael Montgomery, number 96, a defensive end, to play coverage against Alex Smith. So you saw Tracy White, he was the linebacker inside, but it looked like he had no pass cover responsibility. He was in a chase mode from the get-go. It was Michael Montgomery who had to adjust, and that's a nice matchup that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers found.
Short kickoff by Bryant. Jordy Nelson on the return, a penalty marker. Back at the 22-yard line.
One of these days, these guys are going to learn that if they stick their hands up in the air and still hit somebody in the back from behind, that they're going to get a flag.
Personal foul, low block, receiving team, number 27 during return. Half the distance to the goal, first down, timeout.
That's on Blackman, who's usually the return man. And to make matters worse, Blackman is injured on the play. Will Blackman injured during the return. He was also whistled for the penalty.
And now the Green Bay Packers offense with poor starting field position, and since a great opening drive, their offense is really settling into quite a lull right now.
Worst starting field position of the day for the Packers as Ryan Grant is met in the backfield by Derek Brooks.
I tell you what, Goose, that guy is ageless. It's like he hasn't lost a step.
He read that play like there's no tomorrow, man. He's outside. He sees Aaron Brooks holding that ball out. Watch right here. Aaron's going to go right out over here and hand the ball off. He sees him. He's got that ball out in the air. Boom, he comes right upfield and makes the play. I mean, that's how you go and beat that play, by getting penetration, and no one even blocked him on that. Great play by Derek Brooks.
Loss of 5 on the play. Brooks had the interception of Rodgers on the Packers' last drive. Rodgers from the end zone, nearly intercepted by Brooks yet again.
He's just mirroring him, Tony, on that one, reading his eyes, following him as he slides out to the right.
That's one thing that young quarterbacks do, is they look exactly where they're going to throw. Watch Derek Brooks right here, just watching him. Goes up and tries to get the ball, man. That was just a good play by Derek Brooks again.
Another 3rd and long situation for the Packers. Rodgers on 3rd and 15. Intended for Nelson. All right, thanks, Kurt. For a big start for the New York Jets, as Frost just able to get the kick away. Takes a Buccaneers bounce So the Bucs will start this drive in Packers territory after tying the game at 7 moments ago. 35 yards on the punt by Frost. For Brian Griese, 58 attempts yet to go to match last week's total.
I don't think that's going to happen, Kenny. Maybe.
For the second straight drive, Buccaneers start in Green Bay territory. From the Packers 41. Griese over the middle to Dunn. Tackled at the 35-yard line by Nick Barnett after a gain of 6.
Well, that's good coverage by Nick Barnett because he's put in a tough spot. You open that formation up and you slip Warrick Dunn into the middle of the field. Then it's just Warrick Dunn and Nick Barnett with about 25, 30 yards of field, and he does a good job to stay with Warrick Dunn. Watch for John Gruden to come back to that one. That's a nice little matchup that he might be able to exploit.
Second and 4, Dunn finds a hole up the middle and is close to a Bucs first down.
Tackled by A.J. Hawk.
You hear players talk about the system that John Gruden has installed in here offensively, and I asked him how difficult it was for the guys to come in and pick it up right away, and he says, you know, I don't consider it difficult. I consider it demanding. You have to study, you have to prepare, but I don't think it's difficult. Demanding, absolutely, but we've had some rookies play at certain positions in this offense, so you know, for these guys to come in and do this, obviously Brian Griese, you know, his second tenure here as quarterback, the most demanding position in this offense, you know, gives them a great opportunity, and as you pointed out at the top, Kenny, we've seen that the last 2 weeks, and they've strung together a couple of victories.
Grant picks up the first down, and so many of the Buccaneers players and coaches we spoke to over the last couple of days pointed out the fact that not only was Griese here before, but in 2005 he led Tampa Bay to a 5-1 record before injuring his knee.
Yeah, and then there's the gentleman that he's replacing right there, Jeff Garcia, who played you know, the majority of the snaps last season, took him to the playoffs, won the NFC South Division.
From the 28 on first down, Griese dumps it off. Dunn does a nice job breaking free from Barnett and has another first down.
Moose, you hit it right ahead. You said it was coming, Moose, and there it is.
Well, what you're doing is you're opening your formation up and you're just kind of running some verticals with a balanced set on the outside. It's a 2-by-2, 2 wide receivers to each side. You slip Warrick Dunn. You see Nick Barnett right there. That's a lot to ask. You can see he's right there, but Warrick Dunn is so shifty. You get him in open space, it's tough for Nick Barnett to cover all that. Look at everybody leaving and look at the middle of that field. Look at all the area that Nick Barnett has to cover against Warrick Dunn.
17 yards from Griese to Dunn. This is Dunn again. Tries to turn the corner, but is wrestled down by Michael Montgomery after picking up 2 yards.
You know, on that play, Brian Griese does a great job of carrying out a fake on a naked on the backside and holds that backside end. If that backside end didn't stay with him, know that John Gruden would come back with that naked.
Jared Bush checks in. Remember, not only are the Packers down 2 men in the defensive secondary, but Will Blackman is out, at least for the time being, with a quad injury. His return is questionable. Second down and 9. Griese with time. He throws. The pass is caught by Clayton. Brought down at the 5 by Barnett. So a 3rd down and 4 coming up for Brian Griese and the Buccaneers. Bucs can pick up a first down without reaching the end zone. Hilliard in the slot. Bryant split to the right, Clayton to the left. Griese has hit on his last 5 pass attempts.
Here's Pat Lee out here against Antonio Bryant.
Griese looking end zone. He throws, and it's broken up by Hawk. A.J. Hawk getting in front of the tight end, Jeremy Stevens.
Well, because of Jeremy Stevens' size, that's automatically going to be a matchup that you're going to try to exploit. A.J. Hawk is pretty athletic, good position right there, doesn't bite on the double move, in a great spot. But you see that height advantage Jeremy Stevens almost able to make that catch. I like the matchup on the other side. You mentioned that Will Blackman is out. We've got Pat Lee out on the field. I think I would have tested him against Antonio Bryant. Lee making his NFL debut, second-round pick out of Auburn. From the left hash, 23-yard attempt. Bidwell puts it down. Bryant's kick is good. Green Bay Packers scored on their opening drive, but the Buccaneers have come back with 10 points of their own. Matt Bryant kicking a 23-yard field goal moments ago. The Bucs now lead the Packers 10-7. Really all three phases of the game kicking in for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. The defense doing a good job creating some turnovers, giving that offense a short field. A big penalty on that last special teams. The kickoff return for the Green Bay Packers backs them up. They get a poor punt. Tampa Bay's right back on a short field. They go down and get 3 more points.
Will Blackman has returned. And Blackman takes the kickoff out to the 22-yard line. 15-yard return by Blackman. Well, October 9th, the 2 best teams in the National League will put it on the line as they go head-to-head to determine which one will advance to the World Series. Coverage of the NLCS, the National League Championship Series, begins October 9th with Game 1 in high definition on Fox. The Division Series get underway this Wednesday on TBS. The Mets and Marlins are just underway following a rain delay. Mets and Brewers tied for that final playoff spot of the National League, tied for the wild card. Ryan Grant bottled up on first down.
That's Chris Hovan on that tackle. I mean, he does a great job of penetrating and not getting lulled into that offensive line of the Green Bay Packers. Does a lot of positioning, tries to go and annoy you, get in between you. With that guy right there, Chris Hovan, he gets into his deep offensive lineman, gets his hands on him, gets rid of him, comes and makes penetration and makes plays.
Watch that jersey, Goose. We could have a wardrobe malfunction with Hoban out there.
That's tight and small, baby.
Second down and 11. Rodgers to the near side. It's caught by Jennings. And Greg Jennings has a first down. Knocked out of bounds by Rondé Barber after picking up 21.
Well, you saw the graphic on Aaron Rodgers, the first 2 drives, and then since that point, one of the big things is really the position that they've put themselves in on third down. So this is big right here to Greg Jennings. Hey, don't wait for third down. Let's get a first down on second down, because you know what? You came out, you didn't run the ball effectively. You're kind of walking down that same path to get in another 3rd and long. The first 2 drives, the Packers averaged 3rd and 3. The last 2 drives, they've averaged 3rd and 17.
Rodgers under pressure, down he goes, back at the 33-yard line. Jimmy Wilkerson, who spent the last 5 years as a member of the Kansas City Chiefs, with his first sack as a Buck.
Jimmy Wilkerson is getting after it today. He's going to be coming off the right side in front of Cato June right there. Here he is, working against Chad Clifton. Gets him to widen his stance and then just beats him real quick inside. And I tell you what, the other thing you got to watch with him, he has been very, very close to blocking 2 punts today, too. So you just saw what he does against a starting left tackle in the NFL. You better keep an eye on him the next time Green Bay punts, too.
Second down at 18. 3 receivers set. Rodgers fires. Intercepted. Barrett Ruud with the second Bucs pick today. Second interception of the season, 4th in Ruud's NFL career.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy's going to get to Aaron Rodgers right now because there's a little bit of frustration going on, and I'm really surprised to see this. Tony talked about it at the top. We were very impressed by his demeanor when we talked to him yesterday. The first interception, that's on Brandon Jackson. But this one is Aaron Rodgers right here, forcing the ball into the middle of the field. Not a lot of good things are going to happen right there. Again, it's Jimmy Wilkerson getting a little bit of pressure, makes him kind of move Aaron Rodgers off to the left, changes his trajectory on the throw. It gets away from him, and it's intercepted by Barrett Ruud.
After the third straight drive, the Bucs will start in Packers territory from the Green Bay 45. Greasy, dropped by Clayton.
Man, Moose, they're just attacking this middle of that field on the short passes where they know the linebackers are going to have the guy out of the backfield man-to-man. He's doing a great job of seeing that vision right in the middle. You see Brian Greasy right here. Nothing downfield. Checks right there.
Now they're bringing a wide receiver in, Goose. You know, they worked it with Warwick Dunn earlier in the game, getting him manned up just out of the backfield. Now they're clearing that area out, and they're bringing a wide receiver in there for Nick Barnett to tangle with.
Yeah, they're putting pressure on those linebackers. These guys right here.
Watch the laser, Kenny.
I'm looking for it. 2nd and 10. And Greasy's pass. Nice touch, and a catch is made by Ike Hilliard. Charles Woodson all over Hilliard, but Hilliard able to make the catch. Gain of 13 and a Bucs first down.
It's unbelievable how momentum swings in a game, and Green Bay came out and really kind of took this crowd out of it. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers didn't panic, very similar to what they did last week in Chicago. Kind of hung in there. Now they've grabbed all that momentum back. They've got their home crowd back into this game. Somebody on this Green Bay defense got to step up and make a play.
Here's Ernest Graham, and it's Cullen Jenkins along with Nick Barnett making the play for the Packers. Loss of 2. Bucs looking to capitalize on the second Green Bay turnover. So Rodgers goes 157 attempts without throwing an interception, and now he's been picked off, guys, on 2 of his last 5.
You can't let himself get down right there, Aaron Rodgers. He's got to go and get back into this game. If he starts lacking confidence or doubting himself, it'll really show in the second half.
Timeout called by Greasy with 3:08 remaining in the second quarter. 2nd and 12 coming up.
You know, if you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what they do in the passing game on the outside, they do a great job of crisscrossing. Watch these guys right here. They're going to go and cause problems for these 2 defenders in coverage. You see how they go? They have to get out of each other's way. That's the problems that you run into. That's exactly what happened with Charles Woodson, that half a step. That's why that pass was completed.
Goose, from a defensive standpoint, in that situation, do you always stay with your man?
Yeah, you pretty much got to try and stay with your man. But the offensive guys, what they're trying to do is get close enough together to go and throw off the defender. And it's tough out there. I mean, I saw it from down here on the field with the linebackers, with Warwick Dunn coming out of the backfield. I mean, they're doing a lot of crisscrossing, moving around. I mean, that's what John Gruden does. He tries to put situations where it's a little bit tough and tries to gain the advantage that way.
Coming up on Fox, the second game of our doubleheader. The Dallas Cowboys hosting the Washington Redskins. Greasy nearly intercepted by Nick Collins.
Oh, Nick Collins. He's had some big plays the last couple of weeks. An opportunity for another one right there. We just talked about somebody on this team stepping up and making a play. He's back playing the safety position. Here he comes, 36. There's the throw, gets away from him. Boy, he's got it right in stride. And if he gets outside right there, there is nobody there. Watch. One of his teammates come in, boom, he's got Jeremy Stevens picked off. You can see that. There's not a white jersey out there in the flat. I think he's going to turn the corner and give the offense some great field position for the Packers.
They're down at 12. Greasy's pass is caught by Clayton. And Clayton, fighting his way forward, is close to a first down. Looks to be a bit short. Gain of 12 on the play. He needed 13.
A little bit sloppy with the tackling right there.
We're seeing a lot of defenders slide, too. The field is not wet. It's really dry. I don't know if these guys got the wrong shoes on or what, but, you know, we saw it earlier by Rondé Barber and saw it right there in that play. These guys got to get different shoes on and get some more traction out there.
Goose, now the Bucs going for it on 4th and 1. This is Graham. Packers went for it on their first drive on 4th and 1 and were successful, and now the Bucs are as well.
Shouldn't even have had that opportunity sitting at a 3rd and 12. A pass that's thrown short. A couple of missed tackles, and Michael Clayton puts you in a position where you have the opportunity to make the decision to go for it on 4th and short.
We have hit the 2-minute warning here in Tampa. New set of downs for John Gruden and the Bucs, who lead by 3. Buccaneers with 10 points here in the second quarter, lead the Packers 10-7. First and 10 from the Green Bay 21. As the play is blown dead.
False start, offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty, first down.
The right tackle, Jeremy Trueblood.
I don't know if that was a quarterback draw or what, Moose. It looked like he got the snap in his hands. That would have been a great play. They were nice and wide on that.
I think that Brian Greasy thought he had a free play. I think he thought it was on Aaron Campbell's. He was taken off, but unfortunately it was on his teammate Jeremy Trueblood.
First and 15. Gunn bounces it to the outside. And Warren Gunn brought down by Aaron Campbell at the 19-yard line after picking up 8.
Goose, how hard is it to keep track of a guy like that when he gets in behind that offensive line?
You know, I played against Warren Gunn. Sometimes he just ducks down behind those offensive linemen. You can't see him. Watch how low he gets. See how he just hides behind them? Then he keeps going lateral, keeps those feet moving. I mean, he's a pain in the neck. He's a tough guy to get down, man.
Boy, he dropped one on Nick Collins at the end of that, too.
Low center of gravity, Moose. You know what that's all about.
Empty backfield, 2nd and 7. And Greasy's pass batted down at the line.
Good play by Charles Woodson.
Him and Aaron Campbell had a little bit of a game outside. Aaron goes upfield and Woodson came up underneath. I thought he almost had that play down here. Here he is right here. See Aaron Campbell, he goes ahead of him, boom, he cuts up underneath, just gets right in the passing lane. That's something people don't talk about a lot. Those passing lanes, just like run lanes, are going to be right over the tackle's head. That's what he's looking for on that outside curl pattern.
3rd and 7. Again, Greasy has his pass batted down. 2 in a row. Cullen Jenkins.
That defensive line, they forgot about getting their hands up. Greasy, not a real tall guy, throws a low ball. Both coaches talked about it when we had a meeting with them. Watch right here. He's going to drop back. He's going to get right in his passing lane, get his hand up right there, tips the ball. That's I'll tell you what, that play right there just negates the whole play. That's so frustrating for a quarterback because now he's got to worry about getting in the passing lanes and, you know, defensively, you get off the field on that one.
37-yard attempt. Bryant hit from 23 earlier. From the left hash. Bryant 2 for 2. So the Buccaneers defense with 2 interceptions. And their offense has scored 10 points off of those 2 turnovers. And now the last 3 Buck drives, they started with a short field and they scored on all 3.
Yeah, Green Bay's got to come out and establish some of that continuity that they started the game with. They've been out of sync since their opening 2 drives. And as you pointed out, Kenny, they're starting on the Green Bay side of the field. Tampa Bay's offense is taking the field, getting the ball on Green Bay's side of the field. They've kind of wrestled away all the momentum that Green Bay established coming on the road into in an opponent's stadium. You go out with that great opening first drive, and you've just lost all that momentum at this point in the game.
Packers scored on that opening drive. They drove 10 plays, 58 yards, but it's been all Tampa Bay here in the second quarter as they have started their last 3 drives in Green Bay territory. So with 1:07 remaining in this first half, Buccaneers have now scored 13 unanswered points in quarter number 2. Lions kickoff taken at the 8 by Will Blackman. Blackman across the 25 to the 28-yard line. 20-yard return, 59 seconds remaining in the half.
Well, one of the guys we wouldn't think would struggle this afternoon was Aaron Rodgers. We thought that he was brimming with confidence when we spoke to him this weekend, but it has been a tough afternoon. That first interception is on Brandon Jackson, but he hasn't been able to get into a rhythm, and that one right there the last time they were out here on the field. And Mike McCarthy, he's right over to him right away. Hey, we're moving. You can't throw the ball into the middle of the field unless you're sure your guy's there.
The slant is caught by Nelson. Jordy Nelson out to the 36-yard line, gain of 8. Packers have all 3 of their timeouts. Rodgers rolling right, directing traffic. He throws, and the catch is made at the 45-yard line.
Rodgers pass complete to Jordy Nelson.
Nelson again.
Stopped by Philip Buchanan.
And the Packers use their first timeout. Coming up, following the next 29 seconds of playing time, it's the Visa Halftime Report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. They'll bring you scores and highlights. And the Fox Sports ticker, that's all coming up on the Visa Halftime Report. How about the New York Jets and Brett Favre? They lead Arizona 31-0 as they approach halftime at the Meadowlands. It's strange for the fans here in Tampa to watch the Packers in action without Brett Favre. He started the last 23 games between the Packers and the Buccaneers, dating back to 1992.
Just amazing, some of the things that he's accomplished at the quarterback position, and he'll always be a Packer. He's playing for the Jets right now, but he's always going to be a Green Bay Packer. And again, boy, we saw Arizona last week. I am surprised that Brett Favre and the Jets have just jumped all over Arizona.
Cardinals won their first 2 games of the season, lost in Washington. Rodgers goes down back at the 36. Barrett Ruud, who had the interception on the last drive. And that is the 3rd sack of Aaron Rodgers today.
Oh, that's a nice blitz package right here, because you're going to focus on Rondé Barber. He's going to grab Brandon Jackson's attention, crosses the formation, picks him up, and then here comes Barrett Ruud right behind him. So we're just having all kinds of issues up front for this Packer offensive line, their backs, tight ends, and coordination with protection. What looks so smooth to open the game has been very, very lackluster as of late.
Last season, the Packers offensive line allowed only 19 sacks all year, already 9 this season. Cowboys sacked Rodgers 5 times on Sunday night. Bucs with 3 so far today. Packers have used 2 of their timeouts. 1 remaining, 24 seconds to play in the half. 2nd down and 19. Rodgers sets up the screen. This is Brandon Jackson. Jackson across midfield. So Brandon Jackson takes it into Buccaneers territory down to the 46. An 18-yard pickup. Packers use their final timeout, facing a 3rd down and 1. Coming up next on Fox, one of the NFL's best rivalries is renewed as the undefeated Dallas Cowboys, with a record of 3-0, host the 2-1 Washington Redskins. That's game 2 of our Fox doubleheader. We had a chance to see the Redskins last week. Their 24-17 victory over the Arizona Cardinals, while the Cowboys on Sunday night defeated these Packers 27-16.
Well, the Washington Redskins played very, very well. They had a nice 4th quarter against New Orleans the previous week to pull that game out. Played well in spots. So they're going to have to put a complete game together. And the Dallas Cowboys, what a tough start to the season. They have to go on the road to Cleveland, a team that a lot of people thought was going to do some damage this year. And then Philadelphia, Green Bay, and now the Redskins. What a tough start.
Play blown dead. Penalty markers on 3rd and 1.
Charge timeout, Tampa Bay, 30-second timeout.
Now there was a flag thrown in the defensive secondary, but the Bucs are credited with the timeout. You talk about the Cowboys. We saw Terrell Owens' numbers. He scored 4 touchdowns in his last game against the Redskins last season. You mentioned the Cowboys' good start despite the tough schedule. Cowboys have not started 4-0 in back-to-back seasons since the late 70s. Not even during your run, 3 Super Bowls back in the early 90s, did the Cowboys start 4-0 back-to-back years.
No, we always struggled a little bit. We started out one year 0-2, and then we had a big matchup with Philly another one of those years when we were both 3-0 and Philly knocked us off. So it's amazing what Dallas has done the last couple of years.
Hey, Moose, you know, I got a good idea of, you know, being around you for so long when you go to Philly of the rivalry between Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. But last week, walking into FedEx Field, I mean, I wanted to be nowhere near you. I didn't know that those people get just as hostile around anybody who has even been near a star or has some kind of a star on them. I'll tell you what, those fans are great, and what an awesome rivalry that is.
Now we'll be in New York next week. Another division rival of the Cowboys. The flag was thrown because the Bucs had 12 men on the field, but they called timeout prior. So the flag is picked up, and Rodgers had a wide open receiver at the 30-yard line, but Greg Jennings could not make the catch.
Well, that's the second one we've seen today. Brandon Jackson looking to make a play before he secured the ball, cost him an interception, and right there, Greg Jennings is going to have some room to work with after this catch and probably help Green Bay steal at least 3 points here at the end of the half. Oh, boy.
Aaron Rodgers throws the ball across his body, too. He was going to the right, and he threw the ball coming all the way across to his left. I mean, it was a great throw. Just got to hold on to that ball.
Had Jennings made the catch, would the Packers have been able to run another play? They have no timeouts remaining. He was in the middle of the field. 4th down and 1. Rodgers rolling left. He throws, and Jennings was out of bounds. Would have had the first down had he come down in bounds, but he did not. So with 4 seconds remaining in the half, the Packers turn the ball over on downs. Look at Derek Brooks, who has one of the 2 interceptions. You saw Barrett Ruud, who has an interception and a sack today. The 2 Rodgers interceptions have turned into 10 Tampa Bay Buccaneer points. Bracey will take a knee, and the Bucs, who had a big 4th quarter comeback in Chicago last Sunday, fell behind 7-0 on the opening drive of the game, but come back with 13 second quarter points and lead the Packers at the half 13-7.
Oh, great response by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after a quick start by the Green Bay Packers, and that really favors the style of football that this team functions in when you talk about offense, defense, and special teams. And we wondered about the adversity the Packers were going to face this afternoon. They answered it early, but struggled late.
Bucs by 6. Will return after these messages from your local Fox station. Alan Barber and the Packers attempting to stay cool here in Tampa, Florida.
Anything that works.
First half numbers pretty even.
They really are, but the turnovers again, the biggest thing. Points off turnovers for Tampa Bay. Their defense really kind of carrying them a little bit. A big lull there, you know, from first quarter to second quarter. All that momentum that Tampa Bay stole from Green Bay carried all the way through the second quarter. And we'll see if this Packer defense can come out and try and wrestle it back from that Buccaneer offense.
Dexter Jackson,
They might not get a chance.
Returning the second half kickoff. Will Blackman wrestles him down at the 44-yard line. A 44-yard return by Jackson, his longest of the season.
One of the big things on a kickoff return is timing. And I want you to watch the timing of the blocks as Dexter Jackson is coming up the field. Here comes your wedge. Your wedge is forming. Now, as he comes in, watch these blocks are being made. All at the same time, he finds that little alley. Right as he's coming through, the Packers coverage team is all kind of at the same level. They punch a little hole in there, and Dexter Jackson uses great vision to find his way through.
Darrell, average drive start for the Bucs in the first half, their own 47. They start this drive at their own 45, and it takes one play for Ernest Graham to reach midfield as he's tackled by Will Blackman. Packers with a good opening drive in the first half, took a 7-0 lead. And now the Buccaneers look to put together a strong opening drive here in the second half.
Well, not much has gone right for Green Bay since that opening drive, and a lot of that is going to hinge on Aaron Rodgers. And you heard the guys at halftime talk about it. Jimmy Johnson, you know, last season it was Ryan Grant and the running game. He hasn't been able to lean on that in the first half, and I think we're all anxious to see how he responds from that first half. He's been sacked 8 times in the last game and a half. How is his confidence right now?
First down and more for Graham. Ernest Graham down to the 31. Finally tackled by Nick Collins after picking up 19 yards.
Here goes that offensive line that we talked about in the first half. They like to be considered a nasty group. They create a great running lane for Ernest Graham on that play.
One thing that Green Bay's defense needs to do, Moose, is wrap up. They're not tackling well at all. They're all just trying to throw shoulders, take a guy's legs out, but you need to wrap up.
From the 31, the pitch to Dunn. Good second effort by Dunn as he gains 6 yards down to the Packers 25 and some more extracurricular.
Second down, 3 at the 25.
Just picking up where they left off last week in Chicago. But Goose, I agree with you. That last run, it doesn't look like anything's there. Green Bay does a good job of stringing it out to the sideline. And then all of a sudden, you look up, and it's, you know, how did he get that many yards on that play?
Yeah, we saw it in the first half. The DB's coming up when the guy goes and kicks it to the outside, and they're just throwing shoulders, getting down low. Moose, you know how you're expecting a guy to come low, you just jump right over him. I mean, guys in the NFL are too good athletes. They got to go and wrap up and grab something and give the linebackers and the other guys on the team a chance to go and get to the ball.
Dunn on 2nd and 4. Dunn picks up a first down. Were you surprised there were no flags following the previous play, the post-play activity?
Well, now that it's back-to-back plays, this is just getting silly right now. And, you know, the officials can go at a certain point of, you know, hey, we're going to let you guys, your men, we're going to let you play, but eventually they're going to have to throw a flag. You know, it's football. It's competitive, it's physical, it's a game of collisions, but it's also, you got to be smart. And, you know, Tampa Bay is out with a great opening drive right here. Don't do something stupid if you're an offensive lineman and cost your team 15 yards. And if you're Green Bay, you got to come out and make a stand. You let these guys go right down in the field. They don't need any more of your help for extra yards.
From the 18, Graham. Graham gaining 1. Brady Papinga made the tackle along with Colin Cole. Buccaneers have scored on their last 3 drives. 1 touchdown, 2 field goals. 2 of their scores set up by interceptions by Derek Brooks and Barrett Rood. 2nd down and 9. 3 wide receivers set. Breezy's pass is bobbled and then intercepted by Tramon Williams.
Wow, he's got an escort.
Off the hands of Clayton into the waiting arms of Williams. And Tramon Williams, starting for the injured Al Harris, has his 2nd career pick, and he returns it 40 yards.
You talked about momentum, Moose, and we saw that with Tampa Bay when they first came out of the half. Now it's going the other way.
Tramon Williams out of Louisiana Tech, Terry Bradshaw's alma mater, coming up with the interception. Packers start from their own 44. Rodgers to Jennings on 1st down. Rondé Barber comes up to force Jennings out of bounds. Gain of just 1.
We'll go back and take a look at that last interception. Michael Clayton on the outside trying to make a good catch. The ball's down low. You see him reach down, kind of comes off his knee, up in the air. Okay, now here we go. Change the direction. Tramon Williams has it. Look, he's got an escort on the outside. A.J. Hawk, help him out. Help him out. Oh, it looked like there was an opportunity there for to go all the way to the house.
You don't get them opportunities very well. You get an offensive lineman in open air. You got to go and take advantage of that, A.J. Come on.
Rodgers to Jennings on 2nd and 9. And Jennings.
Great second effort.
Jennings knocked out of bounds. Close to a 1st down.
Good safe throws to start this drive for Aaron Rodgers. Let's get him back into a rhythm. You know, a nice little quick little hitch route to the outside on the first play. Another little simple curl right there on the 2nd play.
Rodgers 9 of 19, 1 touchdown, 2 picks in the first half. And, well, you mentioned Jimmy Johnson's comment on the Visa halftime report. How will Rodgers react to adversity? He's hit on his first 2 pass attempts here in the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and 1. Ryan Grant.
That's the one thing about the zone blocking scheme, Tony, the third and short. These types of situations, it's a slow developing play. It's built around an athletic offensive line, getting some push. I think this is where it struggles. Watch how wide this play's going. I mean, it's third and short. You allow the defense the opportunity to get penetration. I know you're running this style of offense and this style of blocking, but you got to have something in that playbook that's a little bit more downhill for third and less than a yard.
Ryan Grant did not do a good job. The cutback was there. The backside guys got the guys on the ground. Hopefully we'll come back and we'll show that, but the lane is there for him to make the play. He's just not, opening his eyes.
Unlike the opening drive in the first half, McCarthy does not go for it on 4th and 1. Frost with the punt into the end zone. Packers unable to capitalize following the interception by Tramon Williams. Now the Bucs with their worst starting field position of the day from their own 20-yard line. Curtis Graham, the lone back, 3 wide receiver set on first down. Greasy hands it off to Graham, cuts it back inside, penalty flags as Graham gains 5 out to the 25, brought down by Campbell.
Holding offense, number 81, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's the tight end, Alex Smith.
Let's go back to that last 3rd and 1 that we saw with Ryan Grant. Watch Ryan Grant. Let's roll this a little bit, and then I'm going to say freeze. I want you guys to stop it. Keep going, keep going. Keep an eye on Ryan Grant right here. Stop right here. Now, Ryan needs to see this right here. This is the backside cutback. These guys do a great job of getting guys on the ground. They got Derek Brooks covered. That backside cut lane is where he needs to go. I know it's only 1 yard. Watch right here. Now he needs to cut. Right on his backside. This is where all the green is. He's got to open his eyes. He's one-dimensional right now. He's got to have vision of the whole field.
We see on 1st and 20. Intended for Grant. Now going back to that play, was that something that in your mind Grant was seeing last year?
Well, yeah, I mean, Mike McCarthy said he's just not in a rhythm yet with the offensive line. He's missed some opportunities. It's about repetition and building chemistry, knowing when that cutback lane is there. And from my perspective, I didn't see it. So Tony's down on the field. He's looking at it from the back of the end zone. He sees it right away. The job that they do on the backside cutoff. And Rondé Barber talked about Ryan Grant and how well he fits into the scheme because he's a one cut and go guy. He didn't do it on that play. And all of a sudden, now Tampa Bay's got the ball back.
2nd and 20, inside handoff to Dunn. And Dunn gains back the penalty yardage. Brought down at the 20-yard line by A.J. Hawk.
Well, there's what we talked about, kind of striking a balance today. I mean, the game against Chicago, they kind of forced them into that passing situation, and you can see how out of whack they got, but much better today. But there's a big loss for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Jeremy Trueblood down.
Anthony Davis replaces the injured Jeremy Trueblood at right tackle for the Bucs. Greasy on 3rd and 10, throws it away. There is a flag.
They're going to get Aaron Campbell for holding on Warrick Dunn.
Warrick Dunn trying to come out of the backfield. He didn't try to block him. If he tries to block him, he can stay with him, but that wasn't a block.
Holding defense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
I guess it's better giving up 5 yards, Moose, and a first down rather than 30 downfield, because Warrick Dunn looked like he was wide open. You see him out of the backfield here on the right-hand side. He has nothing but green behind him if he catches that little out screen pass or little pass you call out there.
An automatic first down. Packers were caught shuffling personnel in and out, forced to use a timeout. As we approach the midway point of the 3rd quarter, it's the Bucs by 6. Coming up, game 2 of our Fox doubleheader. The 3-0 Cowboys take on the 2-1 Redskins. How about the NFC East? A combined 10-2 over the first 3 weeks.
Haven't lost outside the division yet. The only 2 losses are interdivisional games.
Eagles will be in action tonight in Chicago. Giants have a bye. They will host Seattle next Sunday. Cowboys and Redskins next. on Fox. Jeremy Trueblood back in at right tackle. First and 10 from the 25. This is Graham. Graham out to the 31. Gain of 6. Brought down by Michael Montgomery.
Gain of 6. Second down, 4 at the 31.
Starting to wear down a little bit, Goose. You think the heat and the humidity?
Well, it is a little hot out here. Those big guys are on a big rotation. Pickett, Jolly, Jenkins. You know, that's the best thing you can do. Try to stay fresh out there, man, because it is hot down here. Trust me.
That's why we're up here, Chris. Second down and 4. Warwick Dunn looks to cut it back inside, and he is wrapped up. First Brady Papinga, and then Johnny Jolly came over to help.
Warwick Dunn had absolutely nowhere to go on that. There was 4 green shirts heading right at him.
Loss of 3 on the play, so the Bucs now facing 3rd down and 7. Packers scored on their opening drive, but since then it's been all Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just so efficient on that opening drive, and since that time, just really have struggled. See if they get Warwick Dunn matched up on Nick Barnett against him in the middle of the field.
Greasy on 3rd and 7. Terrific play by Nick Collins as he took down Antonio Bryant after a gain of just 3, and the Bucs will punt it away.
Yeah, Collins went off the field pretty quick, didn't he?
Yeah, get over there and get on one of those cool hoses. That one didn't have a whole lot of chance for success. Nick Collins read the in and out pretty quickly, broke on the ball, made the tackle.
Bidwell punting from his own 20-yard line. Taken at the 24 by Blackman. Blackman takes a hard hit from Sammy Piscatelli. 46-yard punt, 17 on the return. The Packers continue to attempt to keep cool on the sideline. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay offense, terrific opening drive, not much since.
No, it has been a struggle, and we'll see what happens here. You know, we're still waiting to see what the response of Aaron Rodgers is going to be here in this second half.
Rodgers 11 of 21, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. From the 40. Ball comes loose, it's picked up by Jermaine Phillips, and Phillips will take it in for a touchdown.
Jermaine Phillips is going to get credit for the touchdown on the fumble recovery, but it all starts with Chris Hovan. He made a real big push inside, forced Ryan Grant to stay outside. And again, it's Derek Brooks. He has just had a huge afternoon for this Buccaneers defense. Watch 95. There's Hovan right there against Scott Wells. Push, push, push. Now here comes Ryan Grant to cut inside. Derek Brooks gets his helmet right on the ball, and it's a scoop and score for Jermaine Phillips.
The 3rd touchdown scored by the Bucs defense this season in 4 games. Bryant adds the extra point. Ryan Grant fumbled on the opening drive last week. Fumbled twice in the playoff win over Seattle last January. What a day for Derek Brooks.
Hey, Moose, let me ask you a question. When a guy like Derek Brooks or anybody comes in and you're running the ball and they get their helmet out, is there any way to stop that?
You know, sometimes, Goose, it's just part of the game. Sometimes it's just a great play by the defense. You know, it's hard to see what Ryan Grant did with the ball at the point of contact. But sometimes that helmet just gets on the ball, and there's nothing you can do. There's Derek Brooks. He's kind of in that guard center gap area. Let's see what Ryan Grant does at the point of contact. You know, it looks like he's going down to cover it up. He's getting small. I just think that's one of those situations where it's the game of football. You know, the defense is out there to stop.
They do teach on defense to attack the ball, try and punch it out, but I'll tell you what, it's hard. It's hard to go and be a guy carrying the ball and stop someone from putting the helmet on the ball and it coming out. That's a tough break for Green Bay Packers.
Phillips was a guy the Packers felt they could take advantage of in the passing game. And ironically, he recovers the fumble forced by Brooks and returns it 36 yards for a score.
Well, that was a big play right there by the Bucs defense, because as lopsided as this game has been from a performance standpoint, the Packers were one play away from taking a 14-13 lead. That gives Tampa Bay a little bit of breathing room.
Blackman stays in bounds. And is tackled at the 25-yard line. There's a flag. Will Allen makes the tackle. Did he grab Blackman's face mask?
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, kicking team, number 57, late hit. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Adam Hayward is the guilty Buck.
Looks like he threw a forearm there when the player was down on the ground.
There's Will Allen making the tackle. There's 57. Here comes Adam Hayward in. Yep,
yeah,
exactly right, Goose. Man, you got the Packers reeling. You just can't give them 15 easy yards.
You know, as much momentum as his Buck defense and offense had, now with that one penalty, it takes a little bit away.
3 Packer turnovers. They have all led to points for the Bucs. From the 40 on first down, Rodgers with loads of time. Pass incomplete. It's headed for the tight end lead.
You know, Moose, I don't know if it's me down here on the field, but it seems like these receivers, if they don't get the ball right away, they stop running their patterns. It's like they're jogging towards the end, and I think Aaron is anticipate them going and running and keeping it going, but they are definitely not on the same page from down here.
Again, the Packers put together a terrific opening drive. 10 plays, 58 yards. Converted a 4th down and 1. But have not been able to do much offensively since. 2nd and 10. Rodgers had trouble with the snap. Dumps it off to Grant. And Grant is tackled at the 42-yard line by the rookie out of Kansas, Aqib Talib, the first-round draft pick. Nice job by Talib, a gain of just 2.
Yeah, and Greg Jennings has got to stay with him. Aaron Rodgers getting frustrated here. Scott Wells really holding that snap. He's calling for it, then it kind of gets away from him a little bit. There's Greg Jennings down at the bottom of your screen. He's got to finish that block. He allows Aqib Talib to get back into that play. It was a nice little screen if he stays with his man on the outside.
Empty backfield, 3rd down and 8. Rodgers steps up. Can't find anyone. And he is tackled by Albert Mack. Just shy of midfield. About a half-yard shy of a first down.
You got to punt and play field position right now. I mean, nothing is going right for you. This Bucs defense is playing with a lot of confidence. If you were to go for it on 4th down and come up short.
Nice tackle by Mack, the rookie out of Troy, suspended last week after a helmet-to-helmet hit on Matt Ryan. Saves a first down and forces the Packers to punt. Fair catch called for at the 23-yard line by Ike Hilliard. The Mets and Marlins are scoreless in the top of the 6th inning at Shea Stadium. The Brewers trail the Cubs 1-0 in the top of the 5th inning with CC Sabathia on the mound for Milwaukee. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Greasy to the outside, complete. First down, Antonio Bryant. Gain of 17 yards.
With the way the Green Bay Packers play defense in that man-to-man situation, they're relying a lot on them front 4 guys to get pressure. They need to go and force throws out so they can come out a little bit earlier. If you make them defensive backs go and run all day with those receivers, you're going to lose a lot of battles.
Reese's pass is picked off by Nick Collins. Collins with an interception in 3 straight games. He stepped out of bounds. The second Bucs turnover.
What a great jump that Nick Collins got on this pass. Oh, you're sitting here at 20-7. The crowd not too happy that they're still stretching the field. Nick Collins, there he is sitting back playing center field. Boy, he just read Brian Greasy all the way, trying to go to Jeremy Stevens. Made it very, very easy for Nick Collins.
Collins had only 4 interceptions his first 3 seasons with the Packers. He has 3 already this year. Best starting field position of the day for Green Bay from the Bucs 42. Grant looks to go up the middle, but Jovan Hay is the first to make contact with Grant. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 upcoming.
They have just not been able to get anything going in the running game, and that takes away your play action. Now, you don't even have to worry about some of these play fakes.
On Grant's last 8 touches, -7 yards.
Unbelievable.
From the 42, off the fake to Grant. Rodgers hitting Grant, another negative play.
Vintage Bucs defense right there, Goose. I mean, they are flying to the ball.
They are. And Ryan Grant on that play was 7 yards deep, and you knew there was something fishy. He was out of the play. The only way that you get 7 yards deep on this play is if you're going to be in it. And you see right here, he goes, has a horrible fake. Then he comes out for the little screen pass. But his guys up front do not do a good job of picking up those guys that are going to come in and tackle him. Chris Hovan, man, moving down the line of scrimmage. That's his area right there.
Loss of 6, 3rd and 16. Yet another 3rd and long for the Packers. Rodgers to Jennings. Greg Jennings, touchdown. 48 yards.
It's unbelievable. Just, I mean, you can look as pathetic as this offense has looked since really the halfway point of the first quarter. Not just on these last few series, but really since that opening drive. But they have such explosive potential. And we were talking about it at break, Goose, when it was 13-7. Is, you know, as much control as Tampa Bay had, it was just a one-play game.
That's it.
For the Green Bay Packers, and here it is right there. They show you what they can do with this personnel.
I can't believe Aaron Rodgers threw that ball. What a great throw into area. Unbelievable.
Shall I say Favre-like?
No, you shouldn't.
No, Aaron Rodgers-like.
A-Rod.
And it looked like A-Rod, as he was referred to by his teammates, was injured on the play. You saw Brian Brown warming up.
Boy, he really threads this. I mean, in between the linebacker and the safety. I mean, I don't know if there could have been, you know, what, Goose, 8-10 inches to fit that ball through?
I'm standing in the corner of the end zone right now, and he threw that ball right at me. I'm thinking, where is this ball going? This is going to be an interception. Then all of a sudden you see the reception and run into the end zone. I mean, fantastic throw. What vision he has to have as a quarterback in order to see that opening and knowing where the receiver is going to go. We talked about it earlier that his receivers and him weren't on the same wavelength, but obviously on that play they were.
And as he left the field, Goose, he was hanging his right arm. Have not seen him got hit recently during the course of the game, but there's Brian Brown warming up on the side.
Brown, the rookie out of Louisville, 2nd-round draft pick, is throwing on the Packers sideline. So Rodgers with his 2nd touchdown pass of the day, both to Jennings. And the Packers able to capitalize off a turnover. Touchdown set up by the Collins interception. There's Matt Flynn, the 7th-round pick out of LSU, who was up and throwing as well. Next to Jackson. Tackled at the 23-yard line by the rookie tight end out of Texas, Jermichael Finley. Cubs continue to lead the Brewers 1-0 in the 5th inning, and the Marlins have scored a run. They lead the Mets 1-0 in the top of the 6th. And how about the Arizona Cardinals coming back from a 34-0 deficit? They've scored 3 touchdowns. It's now 34-21.
Well, they're another team on the outside with Kurt Warner at quarterback. I mean, you can't have a rest on that Cardinal offense. They're explosive.
And off Warren Dunn down to the 23, gain of 2. Rodgers tended to by the medical staff. Brett Favre, 3 touchdown passes in the first half today for the New York Jets as they took a 34-0 lead on the Arizona Cardinals.
They're testing Aaron Rodgers' arm strength right now. You saw the test, make sure he's got all those muscles firing. And they'll do that a lot when you have a pinched nerve, when you get one of those burners. But I really haven't seen Aaron take a shot, really haven't seen him gone down on that elbow or that shoulder.
Yeah, you talk about those burners, it's almost like a...
Offense, number 70, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
To let people know what it feels like when you get those burners, it's almost like hitting your funny bone when you hit your elbow and your whole arm goes completely numb and it feels like there's ants crawling all over your arm and it feels really weird. That's the kind of thing we're talking about, me and Darryl. We know, you get hit in the neck or your shoulder, you get those burners. That's the feeling that we're having. Not fun, right, Moose?
No. And you lose all your strength, too. It takes a while for those nerves to kind of reconnect back.
Greasy on 2nd and 13, airing it out, looking for Bryant. Bryant got tangled with Aaron Rouse. 2 flags.
He's got to be smart. I mean, make a play on the ball, find the ball. Aaron Rouse he's lobbying for something.
Pass interference, defense, number 37. Automatic, 1st down.
Never got his head around. That ball was floating in the air.
Never. He had an opportunity to make a play on the ball. Brian Greasy under pressure from Colin Jenkins. He doesn't. When he turns around, he plows into Antonio Bryant. I think he's trying to say it was going to be uncatchable.
Aaron Rouse starting for the injured Atari Bigby at strong safety. Bucks gain 33 yards on the penalty. They'll go from their own 19 to the Packers 48. Here's Graham. Breaks away from Papinga. There's a penalty marker as Graham picks up a 1st down.
Holding, offense, number 88. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's on the tight end, John Gilmore.
I know we have a holding call on this, but still, we talked about it earlier about the way they tackle. Watch this outside run right here. You got to go and wrap up when you go and have the opportunity. The cut is made on the backside. Look, right there, missed tackle. Down too low, not wrapping up. Another missed tackle. Too high, he finally gets him down. But that's the extra yardage that these offenses love. When they get hit in the backfield and it should be a gain of 0 or maybe 1 yard, and all of a sudden it turns into a 15-yard gain. That hidden yardage will kill you, Moose.
The report on Aaron Rodgers, a shoulder injury. His return today is questionable as the 3rd quarter comes to an end. 6-point lead for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages. Aaron Rodgers on the Green Bay sideline suffered a shoulder injury late in the 3rd quarter. A look at Matt Flynn. Rodgers, we are told his return today is questionable. 1st and 20, Greasy to Clayton.
We've actually got to go back to the previous series to see where we think Aaron Rodgers hurt the shoulder. Watch how he lands at the end of this run. Remember when he was trying to get that 1st down? Watch the right shoulder. See how it's out extended and he kind of comes down? And then 3 plays later, I mean, he went a couple of snaps and you'll see the throw right there. And then as he goes off, look, he's just kind of hanging that shoulder down. You can see him kind of grimacing as he gets to the sideline.
He threw 2 passes on the next series, the second of which was the touchdown to Jennings. Graham tackled at the 41-yard line, about 3 yards shy of a 1st down by Brady Papinga.
Sometimes, Moose, when you get out there, and I knew it wasn't for me, but you get hurt on one play and it doesn't really start hurting until a couple plays later. You start realizing, man, something's not right here. That could have exactly happened what we saw right there with him on that third down.
You try and shake it off. You know, yeah, that's not that bad. I can get through this. I can play through this, and it just won't go away.
How about the adrenaline factor?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Third down and 3. Buccaneers leading by 6. Greasy's pass is picked off, and Charles Woodson is going to take it all the way. Woodson intercepting his teammate at Michigan, Greasy, and he returns it 62 yards for a Packers touchdown.
Well, that's how you respond to adversity. Your quarterback is sitting over on the sideline, and you don't know whether he's going to be able to finish this game, so somebody else is going to have to step up and make a play. Charles Woodson just jumps this route, and on consecutive series, Brian Greasy throws 2 critical interceptions and allows the Packers the opportunity to take the lead right now.
Charles Woodson played for John Gruden in Oakland. He had an interception against the Bucs in the Super Bowl. He scores his 6th career touchdown on an interception return, and the Packers have taken a 1-point lead. Charles Woodson returning it 68 yards for a Green Bay score.
All right, Charles Woodson, numbers 21. He's going to let Michael Clayton go in the slot. He's got Nick Collins, number 36, behind him. He's got safety help over the top. I'm going to pass him by. Here comes Warwick Dunn out in the flat. I'm jumping this. He's reading Brian Greasy's eyes. Just a critical mistake by Brian Greasy at that point.
So the Packers have their first lead since 7-0. Maurice Stovall on the return for the Bucs. Touch to the outside, penalty flag. Will Blackman made the tackle. Stovall down at the 27.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 26. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, here in the second half, the Packer defense has really stepped up and kind of changed the flavor of this game. Tramon Williams with the first one. There's Nick Collins. And then Charles Woodson on the last series. Takes one all the way back for 6 points. Now this is with Aaron Rodgers on the sideline, unsure whether he's going to be able to come back, and there's 2 rookie quarterbacks behind him. But one thing that the Tampa Bay offense can't do is give up points.
Ernest Graham gain of 3 out to the 15, so Brian Greasy has been picked off 3 times this half, twice on his last 3 pass attempts.
That's
also threw 3 picks last week in Chicago.
And that's why you handed the ball off on that play.
Second down and 7. 2 minutes in, 4th quarter. Packers leading by 1. Greasy to the outside. Complete to Gilmore. Up to the 24-yard line. John Gilmore picks up 9 yards and a Bucs first down.
Well, they've got to find out what this matchup is that they've created. This is going all the way back to the first quarter on the Alex Smith touchdown. Whatever's happening, they're catching a defensive end in coverage with a tight end. And now whether that's going to be John Gilmore, Jeremy Stevens, Alex Smith, the Buccaneers have got to find out how to create that matchup again and maybe get a deeper route down the field. They're just throwing a little out route right there. If you can predict when you get that, get your tight end down the field in coverage with a defensive end.
Graham gains 4, ball came loose, but Graham was ruled down at the 29. Nick Collins made the tackle.
Well, you don't need somebody else contributing to this turnover fest here in the second half. Let's see if Ernest Graham is down.
It's not.
Yep,
look like he
he's
was.
Down. Yeah,
was
he is. Yep.
Got the elbow down?
Yep, elbow's down.
Ball wasn't rolling around?
Wasn't rolling around. He was on top of the Green Bay player, but he still had control of the ball. Didn't come out until he hit the ground.
Second down and 5. Greasy in trouble, escapes from Jenkins. And now he throws, and it's caught for a first down by Alex Smith. 17 yards.
We talked about tackling moves, and that's wrapping up the quarterback too. When you have that opportunity to go and get a quarterback down in the backfield, you got to take that opportunity, or you're going to have big plays happen if you don't.
Not only was Jenkins unable to make the tackle, but he's injured on the play. Good job by Greasy, escaping the grasp, and then the first down catch by Smith. Cullen Jenkins of the Packers injured on the last play.
Yeah, it looked like one of the reasons maybe he couldn't get him down, Goose, is he kind of hurt that shoulder in the process trying to make that sack.
Hey, I'll tell you what, he's in a tough situation right here. He comes through, he has him wrapped up. You got to like try and sweep at the legs, but when he goes down, it looks like he hits his shoulder and just has to lay off.
Done bottled up by Johnny Jolly. 8 of 1. Charles Woodson with the interception, returned at 68 yards. For the go-ahead score. Woodson has been bothered by a broken toe the last couple of weeks, but we spoke to his teammate A.J. Hawk yesterday. He said Charles always finds a way to be fine on game day.
Well, he sure was fine this afternoon. He's been playing very aggressive. You can't really tell that toe is bothering him. And I tell you, to have Cullen Jenkins down right now is very, very challenging for this Green Bay Packer defensive line. We've seen him in and out in the rotation. That takes one of their key guys in that rotation out of the fold.
Greasy pump fake twice, and Clayton draws a flag. Tramon Williams on the coverage.
I don't know about this flag. It just looked like good coverage. He stopped on the pump fake. Looks like he bumped a little bit, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to see a replay on this one, guys.
Might be against the offense. Clayton.
Pass interference, offense, number 80.
Yeah, you're right, Kenny.
10-yard penalty, second down.
Michael Clayton gets off on the release right here. Let's see where it happens.
Grabbed the jersey of Williams just prior to that. Could that have been it?
That's kind of touchy. I was expecting to see an arm extended to create separation. I don't think that's anything but some physical play on the outside. I don't agree with it.
Yeah, me neither, Moose. I think you just got to let them play. They're going to bang a little bit. They're going to touch each other a little bit, but that's why it's called football.
Second down and 19. 3 wide receiver set. Greasy with time. Can't find anyone. Now under pressure. Intended for Warren Dunn. So the Bucs now facing third down and 19.
Pat Lee working against Antonio Bryant. He's gotten beyond him. Thought he had some help over the top, but with that pressure, Brian Greasy can't find him on that side. Tramon Williams on the other side. His opportunity was out to the right, but he's getting chased around back there. Doesn't have time to find Antonio Bryant down the field.
With Cullen Jenkins out too, that defensive line for Green Bay, man, I'll tell you, they got to keep it going. They're stuck in win right now.
Greasy on 3rd and 19. The catch is made by Hilliard, but he is stopped well shy of a first down. Tackled at the 45. Needed 19, gains just 8. So the Bucs send out the punting unit. Tampa Bay led this game 20-7 with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter following the defensive touchdown on the fumble recovery, Jermaine Phillips. But Aaron Rodgers hit Greg Jennings, his second touchdown of the game, and then Charles Woodson returning an interception, 68 yards for a score to give the Packers the lead. Bidwell's punt, Blackman lets it go, and it takes a Packers bounce into the end zone. Coming into the game at quarterback for the Packers, the rookie Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn started 13 games at LSU. Led them to the national championship last season. Win over Ohio State in the BCS championship game. Aaron Rodgers flexing his shoulder. Flynn took 2 snaps against Detroit 2 weeks ago, 2 kneel downs. So this is second action in the NFL during the regular season, and The first play is blown dead.
False start, offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty, first down.
For those of you just turning in and seeing Matt Flynn at quarterback, Aaron Rodgers trying to scramble for a first down, lands on that right shoulder. He was able to hang in there for a couple more series. Here's his last play. I mean, he throws a laser to Greg Jennings for a touchdown, but you can see him holding his arm as he goes to the side.
That penalty, Darrell called on Alan Barber, who was in as an extra blocker. Flynn handing off to Grant. Grant gains 2 out to the 17.
Well, just as something as simple as cadence. With Matt Flynn in there, the cadence is going to be completely different than with Aaron Rodgers. And you know, when this whole transition went on with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre moving on, everybody talked about performance and how will the offense function. I think one of the things you overlook is the durability of Brett Favre. 275 consecutive starts, and the problem that Aaron Rodgers has had throughout his career is staying healthy.
Second down and 14. Flynn's first pass attempt in the NFL is nearly intercepted by Rondé Barber. When you talk about Rodgers' health, back in 2006, as the backup, he broke his foot, missed the last 6 games. You mentioned the injury he suffered last year following the game against Dallas. And the Packers, after Favre announced his retirement back in March, drafted 2 quarterbacks. Brian Brom in the 2nd round, Flynn in the 7th. And it's Flynn who has jumped over Brom and is the number 2 quarterback. Brom, the 3rd quarterback for Green Bay. 3rd down and 14. Packers play real conservative. There's a penalty marker as Jackson is tackled at the 18-yard line.
Holding, offense, number 72. Penalties decline, 4th down.
Jason Spitz, the right guard.
You know, talking about Matt Flynn, it's a tough situation being a rookie and playing in the National Football League and having to go in there, but it's quarterback. It's got to be 100 times worse, Moose. I know you can remember when you went and first played, and I can remember when I went and first played, but having the responsibility of going in there, getting the snap count off, reading the protections, going out there trying to get something going on offense, that's a lot of responsibility for a young kid.
Yeah, there's not much that I would have done as a fullback that would have had a huge impact on the game if I made a mistake. But as a quarterback, you ain't kidding, Goose.
Dexter Jackson on the return, guys, down to the Green Bay 35. Only a 38-yard punt, 20 on the return. Tracy White made the tackle. Terrific field position for the Bucs. Mike McCarthy and John Gruden worked together back in 1991 on Paul Hackett's staff at the University of Pittsburgh. Gruden, the wide receivers coach. McCarthy was John Gruden's graduate assistant.
That's when I was there, Kenny. Gruden came the year after I left, but I was there when Mike was a graduate assistant.
Warren Dunn inside the 30 to the 29. We asked Gruden about McCarthy. He said Mike worked his butt off. He did things the right way. He is one of the good guys.
That's what Mike McCarthy. What did John have to say about me? When you asked him, give us a story about John Gruden. He gave us a nice little thing. What did John say about me? What did John have to say about me?
I think he was nervous to say, hey, listen, he used to go get us the donuts or something like that, like a rookie hazing, right, Moose?
Oh, yeah, everybody's got to earn their stripes.
He does, and that guy right there has definitely earned them, I'll tell you that.
Took the Packers to the NFC Championship game a year ago before losing to the eventual Super Bowl champion Giants. 2nd down and 3. Here's Dunn. Johnny Jolly made the first contact.
Talking about them, University of Pittsburgh Pitt Panthers, they had a big game this week. Moose, do you know who they played by chance?
A Division II school, I think. Come on, you've been kicking my Orangemen while they've been down for the last 2 years.
Hey, listen, man, you guys beat us up so bad when I was playing. I got to get my kicks and throws in, man.
Why do I know that would come up? Pitt 34, Syracuse 24.
One more time, Kenny. What was it? My earpiece went out.
Pitt by 10.
Okay, thank you very much. You got that, Moose?
Yeah.
Here's Graham on 3rd and 1, and Ernest Graham has a Buccaneers first down.
Hey, Goose, I guarantee you the last 7 minutes of this football game is going to be old school. I mean, you've got both coaches who are hunkering down. Brian Griese has thrown 2 critical interceptions. Mike McCarthy is down to a rookie quarterback. I mean, nobody is willing to let the other one have an opportunity to make another critical mistake.
You see it right there. We're going to see smash mouth football, like you said, Moose, and Green Bay. They're pretty much, have no other choice. They got to go put the guys on the line of scrimmage and run that ball.
Aaron Rouse shaken up. The starting strong safety for the Green Bay Packers, starting for the injured Atari Bigby.
Well, their secondary is becoming like the Seattle wide receivers. We had Seattle week 2. They were down 6 wide receivers, and with Aaron Rouse down, the Green Bay secondary just continues to lose guys to injuries.
No Al Harris, no Atari Bigby. Blackman injured earlier. He came back, and now Rouse is down. Cowboys and Redskins coming up. Game 2 of our Fox doubleheader. 7:03 remaining here in Tampa. Aaron Rodgers did not play the last series, replaced by Matt Flynn. As we check in for a quick second with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Kurt, who's trying to talk to me? I need to hear.
Hi, Kurt. Redskins Cowboys coming up. As the 3-0 Cowboys host their division rivals. We apologize for the audio problems in Los Angeles. Graham down to the 20-yard line. Charles Woodson made the tackle. Woodson with the touchdown. 68-yard interception return.
Now you're going to see those linebackers, Moose, Nick Barnett, A.J. Hawk, and Papinga coming to the line of scrimmage. You're going to be reading that run a lot faster.
And Rodgers working out his right shoulder.
He's still trying to, work it out a little bit. It takes a little bit of time, but maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll see it again.
2nd and 7, here's Graham. Big hit from Charlie Pepra. Graham able to gain 5.
Cannon fire.
You usually hear that during the introductions here in Tampa.
Yeah, or a touchdown. Someone's getting a little anxious with the fuses.
3rd down and 2. Packers leading the Bucs 21-20.
And this is a big stop for Green Bay. They've got to force this field goal now. They can't let Tampa Bay milk this clock.
Off the play action, Greasy takes off and has a first down.
He's tried to force a couple the last few series earlier in this quarter that caused some huge interceptions. This one here, a nice little play fake. It's not there. Pull it down. It's 3rd and short. Look at him weave his way through there. Gets enough for the first down. And Goose, I really think that the rotation inside with Green Bay's defensive line, now with Cullen Jenkins out also, these guys are just exhausted.
They got to be. They got to be. It's hot down here. It's humid. They're not used to this kind of weather where Tampa is. They practice in it. Doesn't matter how many rotations you have, you're going to get wore out a little bit.
The pitch to Graham on 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line, and Graham loses a yard. Nick Barnett along with Johnny Jolly in on the tackle.
And a lot of coaches, Moose, when they go against a defensive line that's big guys and like a lot of movement, they try to go and run a lot of outside plays from sideline to sideline to make those guys move in the 1st and 2nd quarter, knowing that in the 4th quarter it'll pay off. It'll wear those guys down a little bit, and that's exactly what we're seeing here today.
2nd down and 11. From the Packers 13. This is done inside the 10 down to the 7. New York Mets have come back, tied the Florida Marlins 2-2 in the 7th.
I mean, each side knows what the other is doing right now. I mean, the only thing that I think Green Bay's weary of is that boot that we saw on the previous 3rd down. They know they're not going to get dropped back. They're going to get some kind of really, really safe play action, maybe a screen. But I don't think John Gruden has the confidence right now in Brian Greasy to put the game in his hands throwing the ball. We'll see right here. He's got the formation called for it.
4th down and 5. They keep it on the ground with Dunn, and he is stopped at the 6-yard line. So the Bucs, trailing by 1, will send out the field goal unit. Desmond Bishop made the tackle.
not to jump ahead of ourselves, but Aaron Rodgers really has to go and figure out if he can come back and play. I think that's the only shot that they're going to have to come back in this game is if Aaron Rodgers is in, Moose.
Matt Bryant, 2 for 2, is hit from 23 and 37 back in the second quarter. This will be a 24-yard attempt. Bidwell, the holder, from the right hash. Bryant from 24 yards out, straight through.
I tell you what, Hollywood can't write the script that we saw today. Just amazing that Matt Bryant is even able to keep his emotions in check on the field this afternoon, and he's probably going to end up being the difference in this game. I agree, Tony. I don't think Green Bay has a chance to win this game unless Aaron Rodgers is able to come out into the huddle. And Matt Bryant flew back from Texas last night. Tampa Bay was undecided on what approach they were going to have to take, and for him to come out and perform the way that he has in this game today, I cannot say enough about what he has done.
I agree. Matt and Melissa having to go through the toughest thing a set of parents could ever go through this week. And Matt returned last night, joined his teammates today, and has hit all 3 of his field goal attempts.
You could take that script into a Hollywood producer and he'd be like, well, I don't know. It's hard to believe that scenario could play out that way. And yet we've watched it here over the last 48 hours, going back into the beginning of the week when the Buccaneer family was made aware of the terrible news. And it's just been unbelievable to see the courage and the emotion with Matt Bryant this afternoon.
Ensuing kickoff out of bounds. So the Packers, trailing by 2, will start at their own 40. After the Buccaneers drive 10 plays, they take 6 minutes off the clock, and more importantly, take the lead. And now Aaron Rodgers, after sitting out 1 series, will return. The Packers, who trailed 20-7, came back, took the lead. Now behind 23-21. Empty backfield from the 40. Rodgers being chased. And he has the presence of mind to flip it away. He heard footsteps. Gaines Adams was gaining on him, and Rodgers throws it out of bounds.
Well, that's a great improvement in my mind, because against the Cowboys last week, he took a couple of sacks in situations like this, and earlier in the game he didn't get rid of the ball and he lost a couple of yards. Now he's going to be sacked inbounds. The clock is going to run. It's probably going to get down to the 2-minute warning. He just saved himself a couple of plays here to take some shots down the field.
Rodgers on 2nd and 10, hit, intercepted. The 3rd pick thrown by Rodgers today. It's Gaines Adams. We welcome those of you who have just joined us. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa in Tampa, where Aaron Rodgers, who sat out a series earlier this quarter due to a shoulder injury, has just been picked off for the 3rd time today. Tampa Bay with a 2-point lead. Gets the ball back, and Otis Graham breaks free. Graham inside the 20, the 10, and he is dragged down just shy of the goal line.
know what they're going to do, but you just can't stop it. They're just going to come out and burn this clock out. And I think Ernest Graham, I didn't see if his foot was out before he stretched. If he didn't step out of bounds, that's a touchdown.
A 47-yard run by Graham as we hit the 2-minute warning. Gaines Adams with the interception moments ago. Buccaneers by 2. We welcome those of you who have just joined us as the Carolina Panthers defeated the Atlanta Falcons 24-9. John Gruden challenging this last play. Ernest Graham was ruled down just shy of the goal line, but the question is, did he cross the plane before his knee hit the turf?
We all think that he did, and it's very similar to a play they had last week with Gaines Adams scoring on an interception return. And I think this one could go back to a touchdown also.
Eerily similar.
Eerily similar.
Touchdown, or at least that ball's going to be a lot closer to the goal line because his knee.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
Wow.
Tampa Bay is charged with their first team timeout.
I don't agree with that.
Well, Green Bay got the ball back. We get pressure right here. Everybody turns. They just absolutely turn the rusher from the outside loose. Greg White comes free. Number 91. You're hot to your left. Aaron Rodgers doesn't adjust. Donald Lee releases. You can see how he turned, expecting to be the hot releaser. Aaron Rodgers is focused on the right side. He gets hit. The ball's intercepted. Now the first play after that interception was the Ernest Graham run down to the goal line.
Kevin Carter is in the offensive huddle here, Darryl, for the Buccaneers.
Playing tight end.
First and goal for the Bucs from just outside the 1. Now, the reason the Bucs were allowed to challenge, even though we hit the 2-minute warning, is a coach can challenge up until the next snap following the 2-minute warning. Then it goes upstairs. So that is why John Gruden was able to challenge that ruling. So Kevin Carter in as an extra tight end. First and goal from the 1. Ernest Graham. Touchdown.
Unless something crazy happens in the last 1 minute and 56 seconds of this football game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to steal another one for the second week in a row. Last week in Chicago, a furious fourth quarter rally, down 10. They win in overtime, and in this game today, they just fall apart in the fourth quarter with some interceptions. They allow Green Bay to come back, take a lead 21-20. They hang in there. They're building a tremendous amount of confidence for this team. That's all you can do right there. You've got to let that ball get in quickly. Doesn't do you any good to make a goal line stand right now.
So Ernest Graham with 111 yards on the ground. Big 47-yard run moments ago. Buccaneers have started 5 drives inside Packers territory. They have scored on all 5. Rodgers, 3 interceptions. He had not been picked off over the first 3 games. 100-yard day, 2 touchdowns for Greg Jennings. Matt Bryant, 3 for 3. And Ernest Graham with the most recent Buccaneers touchdown. Tampa Bay leading 30-21. Similar to last week, Darryl, in Chicago, when they scored. They were down by 10 with 3.5 minutes remaining. They were down by 1 with 2.5 minutes remaining here today.
Well, the things that we wanted to see coming into this game, number 1 is Tampa Bay going to get back in and kind of get in sync and get Ernest Graham and Warwick Dunn back involved in this game. Offensively, get a little bit of balance. They did that, but Green Bay, our question mark, adversity. How would they respond to the big loss to the Cowboys last week? And one of the guys we thought would have a good game, Aaron Rodgers, has come out and really struggled this afternoon.
Will Blackman on the return for the Packers, stays on his feet. And it is tackled back at the 27-yard line. Ryan Grant has the ball forced loose by Derek Brooks, returned by Jermaine Phillips. This gave the Bucs a 20-7 lead early in the third quarter, but Rodgers would connect with Jennings. 48-yard touchdown reception, 20-14 Bucs. And then Greasy intercepted by Charles Woodson. This gave the Packers a 1-point lead.
And that's when we thought that the Packers had really gained control. But unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers on the touchdown pass to Greg Jennings hurt his shoulder. He was unable to come back in the next series. Matt Flynn came in. They didn't go anywhere. They were able to get some points back. And then the big interception on the last series by Aaron Rodgers. And now Matt Flynn is back in at quarterback for the Green Bay Packers.
Flynn to Brandon Jackson. And for Flynn, that's his first NFL completion. A 7th-round pick out of LSU. Packers went 3 and out during Flynn's previous series early in the fourth quarter. Flynn rolling right. Fires out of bounds with 1:15 remaining.
Tony, it's like you've always said, I think one of the big things we've seen during the course of the game for this Buccaneers defense, they've been able to generate pressure with 4 up front and play their normal style of defense of dropping people back in coverage to account for all the receivers on this Green Bay offense.
That makes it so hard for an offense to go and look downfield, and if they're feeling the pressure with 4 guys, when they bring that 5th guy, I mean, that's when you're really going to go get the big hits like we saw in Aaron Rodgers earlier.
They're down in 7. Flynn to Nelson. Gain of 4. 4th catch for Nelson today. Packers now looking at a 4th and 3. Under a minute remaining here in Tampa. Buccaneers by 9. Flynn over the middle. Intended for Driver, who has only 1 catch today, and the Bucs will take over on downs. Well, for those of you in the home markets of the late games, in a moment you will be leaving this game, and we will be switching you to the start of your game with the Buccaneers leading the Packers 30-21. Packer fans may want to hit the mute button right now because Brett Favre has tied his career high with 5 touchdown passes today for the New York Jets. He threw 5 for the Packers 3 times. The last time 10 years ago yesterday in Carolina. September 27th, 98. Jets leading Arizona 48-35 in the fourth quarter. As the Bucs have certainly returned to the balance, Darryl, that you talked about earlier.
Well, the first 2 games, they had to run the football, against New Orleans, against Atlanta. But last week against Chicago basically came out and said, we're not going to let you run. We're going to see if Brian Greasy can win this game throwing the ball. Somehow they found a way to do it last week, as you pointed out, down 10, inside 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, 1 in overtime. This afternoon they came back, they were in balance, and Matt Bryant, just an absolutely incredible performance by him this afternoon. He was the difference in the game.
So for Darryl Johnston and Tony Saragusa, this is Kenny Albert saying so long from Tampa as we send you to Kurt and the boys in Los Angeles.